Hey, thanks for joining me today. It is Wednesday, June 9th. I know, it's been a while. It's a Big Idea Wednesday, but first, flame on. Thanks everyone for hitting that like button, sharing, blah, blah, blah. You know the routine. Some tough news for me. My last video that I did, 100% of the people that watched it are subscribers. That's good. But it's also bad because that means that not one single person discovered the channel. Not one single person was even offered the video. And that's real disheartening for someone making videos. So, yeah, it's been tough. That's why I kind of just took a week off. But I want to talk about this Pygmalion effect. This has a much bigger deal than you realize right now. I think at the end of this video, you may have changed your mind about this particular topic. So let's get into it. The Pygmalion effect is a psychological phenomenon, and basically it's that expectations matter. That's what it is. Expectations on other people have an effect. Oh yeah, they do. Now this was named after George Bernard Shaw play. It's been recreated in My Fair Lady, and then again Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts and Richard Gere. That's an example of the play of putting expectations on someone. Julia Roberts, she's the prostitute, and he gets her and dresses her up and tells her that she's going to impress all these people and puts all these high expectations on her, and then she follows through and she does it. You know, haven't seen that movie in a long time, probably since it came out. Might check that out again. But where this came from, this was from Rosenthal is the name of the researcher who originally did this. It was once called the Rosenthal effect, also the Pygmalion effect. And this was done in elementary school. This is how they proved this. What they did is they told the teachers, hey, we've got this special test, and it will find intellectual bloomers. So these are kids that have a lot of potential that haven't shown it yet. And then they just used a random number generator and they assigned 20% of the students. They told the teacher that these kids were intellectual bloomers. They have a lot more potential than they're showing right now, and they're probably going to show that real soon. Now, the whole thing was made up, right? But the researchers told the teachers, hey, keep this a secret, don't tell the kids. But these 20% of these kids, they're very special. They've got a lot of potential. And the kids took a test, and a year later they took another test, and it turned out that the students that were named the intellectual bloomers had achieved far greater than all the other students. Much more so than it was statistically significant. And all that meant was that the teachers' higher expectations on the kids actually made them perform better and learn more, which is really incredible because the kids didn't even know what was going on. Now, how this happened, they would observe, and they noticed that the teachers might be nicer and more patient with the kids that they had identified as having potential. Also, they saw that those teachers would teach them more. They'd give them more material than they might give the other kids. And if you're given more material, then you can take more in, you can learn more, you can achieve more. The children that were identified as intellectual bloomers, they were given more time to respond to questions. So the teacher would ask a question, they would give those kids a little bit more time to respond, and in doing so, would give them more confidence. Also, they would be, a little bit more patient. And also, the teachers gave better feedback to those students that were identified as having more potential. So they would not just say, oh, you're wrong. They would say, oh, you're wrong, and here's a different way to look at it, and things like that. And so that were a lot of different things that these teachers would do subconsciously because they were told that these students would achieve more. And in the end, they did. Those high expectations really worked. Those kids did achieve more. And I know that this is true. 25 years ago or something, I don't know, I taught school. And I taught at an all-black school. In fact, I was the only one that looked like me, right? And my class was not in a class that you would expect to achieve much. In the state test, we were at the lowest percentile in the entire state, the worst. So going into the school year, they were at the absolute lowest academic level in the state for kids their age. And it was a really rough place. I didn't have a single student that had two parents at home. Probably about a third of the kids didn't have either parent at home. They were living with auntie or grandma, and lots of kids, their parents were in jail, things like that. There were, I had some prostitutes for moms, that show up on parent-teacher day, And it was a real rough thing. And I was aware of expectations and what you could place on kids, and I really made it my goal to try to teach all of the kids and give them all high expectations. Now, it didn't work with all the kids, but that was something that I worked at every single day, is putting higher expectations on those kids. And we really did achieve a lot more. In fact, about a third of them ended up passing the state test in both math and English. And that may not sound good, but going into the year, none of them did. Okay. So I did see firsthand, putting high expectations on kids, that they do achieve more. And that's why, and the opposite is true as well. There's also an effect called the Gollum effect, which is if you place low expectations on someone, they will achieve less. Oh yeah. So if you've got a kid or a partner or whatever, if a girlfriend expects me to not leave my coffee mug balanced precariously on the edge of the sofa, I won't do it. But if she doesn't expect that, if she expects me to leave it there, I'll leave it there, right? That's it. Often we will rise to the expectations. We will all sink to the expectations that are placed upon us. But if we bring this into what's going on in 2021, and I don't think everyone is going to agree with me on this point, and I recognize that. And I know that probably if you're under 30, you're really not going to agree with this point. I get it. But this is just my take on it. All of this media obsession with blah, blah supremacy and how biased all the systemic systems of, you know what I'm talking about. This constant chorus of how things are bad and people can't achieve things because of how they look or their skin tone or their race or all of these things. That's putting negative attention. That's putting negative expectations on groups of people. And that doesn't work. Now, it may be true. I'm not saying that we don't live in a systemic system of blah, blah. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. What I'm saying is this obsession and chorus talking about it has the opposite effect of making things better. Okay? If you want people that are not achieving to achieve more, you need to tell them that they can achieve more, that this is America, that anyone can achieve if they work hard and they make connections and they make social connections and they are friendly and they keep trying and persevering. And you know that a lot of people don't like to hear that. But that message will have a much better outcome than the message that we live in this terrible place and you're never going to make it. Because when you do that, people stop believing in themselves They stop believing in each other, and they won't achieve. Yeah. So you need to ask yourself, do you want things to be better, or do you want things to be worse? Because your expectation can have a big effect on what that outcome is going to be. But again, that's just my take on the Pygmalion effect. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have an awesome day. Peace.